Welcome to Small Potatoes.
Where we give you a naughty tease of our latest Patreon episode.
Be sure to subscribe. Links are in the description. Why haven't we done this topic sooner? So, myth or reality, is Muse low mileage? And within our industry, specifically on our industry's review boards, Muse has been known to be the low mileage massage parlor basically since we opened. So, is this true or is it all myth?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, Riley. Because you know what? We've always been known to not be full service, right? That's not a surprise. That hasn't changed over the years. I'd like to think it won't going forward, but who knows, right? Life changes. Look at the world these days, right? And so there was a time where I would say our reputation wasn't as heavy in that category. It was just, no, you won't find full service, or if you do, you're very, very, very lucky. Shut up about it. So
Yeah.
that was then. And then the usual coalition, including one particular place more than the rest, makes it a mission to create fake handles on the boards, post a hell of a lot. So they establish a trustable reputation, right? Call it out. Red flags all over the place right now, and post a bunch of shit about us. And in some respects, they shill for themselves, which is like a fake over promotion for themselves, and always shit on us. And listen, we have friends in places that can look at things on back ends, and we know where they come from. We know if it's a former staff member that was poached and purchased and trafficked over there by that spa. We know if it's that spot particular. We know if it's done from any of the managers' phones. We know where these IPs are coming from, where like type of devices and very detailed information. And you know what? We've always taken the high road. We've always decided, I'm not spending my time doing this. I think we both value our lives a lot more. My free time is very expensive and very precious. And fuckery doesn't really hit the scale of what's valued in a dollar or a minute. So that's a no, because self-respect. But to pay other people to join in on it, so there's a plethora, paid clients that get free door fees all the time at their spa or whatever, just to post a bunch of shit. And so, especially I'd say over the past 8 years or so, there's this narrative, this fake news narrative that's been pushed. Look at us sounding like Fox, but it's fucking true that we are so low mileage that you can't get anything, that it pretty much is rub and tuck. Made up stories about girls keeping their clothing on, made up stories about girls not allowing any touching, made up stories about this, that, and the other thing, where girls are just like, no, 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 she won't do this, she won't do that, she won't do this, she won't do that. And then, of course, somewhere in their commentary goes, oh, you should just go up the street, or you should just go over here, or you should go to such and such road. And it's like, are we fooled? Are is this a face of foolery? Because this is old. It's been years that y'all do this. It's not surprising. But unfortunately, the reality is that when people hear things enough on nauseam, like on repeat, they start to believe it. No, and that's where I get frustrated, because that's their intention. That's why people are spending the time and the money to have people do this or to do it themselves. Is because eventually it will work in some respect. And so I think that's where we come in to smash the fucking myth and deconstruct the house of cards built, because it's all based on bullshit. Let's call it what it is.
Without being full service, which I'm not saying never happens at Muse, but we are certainly not known to be a full service spa. But excluding that, we offer, or the girls offer, just as much mileage as any of our neighbors, if not any other body rub parlor that's competing within, that's our competition. There are some that are body rub parlors that are simply not our competition. We don't offer the same things. So in that respect, we're not competing with them. But I think it's a shame, because people come on these boards And let's face it, this is your hard earned money. And when you're going out to play and you want to pay for a service, you kind of want the closest thing to a sure thing you can get. And I think the
Absolutely.
intention is to put such a sour taste in their mouth about Muse that they don't come in to try that experience. And I think you're missing out because not only are they as high mileage as everyone else that we compete against, but it is a better and different experience. Okay, I'm biased. I shouldn't say better. There's a lot of
I'd
fantastic
say
girls out
I
there.
fuck that better. You know why? Sorry to cut you off, but I'm going to
Yeah,
make a point proven
yeah,
because this is how we know it's better. Where do they get their staff from?
true.
Those fake handles shit on that girl when she worked at Muse, but then they go spend $5,000 to pay her off and traffic her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the reviews are fucking glowing, and she's the greatest thing since sliced bread from shift one. So
Yeah,
that's not, oh, she got some new information. She was sent on a course to learn some new shit. That
right.
is literally Muse skills in a different four walls. And
Mm-hmm.
suddenly she's amazing.
Yeah.
Bullshit. It's better, and that's why it's better. That's why they shop at fucking Muse for human beings, is because they are so good. They're not doing that at any other spa, at least not in that volume. And it's not to say there aren't some great attendants at every spa. There's always a few stars, right? But they are not out here spending tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars to poach people from this place, that place, the Wild West up north, etc. Right? They're just not. It's
Mm-hmm.
because the best attendants come from Muse.
They're definitely always interested in our staff. Yes. Yes, Emily.
Fuck.
You had to let
But
that
it's an
one out. I knew
actual
it was
fact.
coming.
It's an actual fact. And that's why we have the fucking horns, because toot toot motherfucker. I'm sorry to cuss so much in this episode, but this shit is so glaringly obvious to me. And it's one thing to read a few reviews. Listen, we've been trip planning before, and a few bad reviews were like, that ain't it. I ain't walking too
Yeah,
much in that place, or I'm not dealing with liquor running out, and I'm on all inclusive. Miss me, right? There's some
right.
things were very quick, but there are other times where you can read reviews and like this sounds like a competitor just constantly. Like it
Mm-hmm.
happens on TripAdvisor and Yelp and everywhere, right? There's
Yeah.
white knights, there's shilling, there's fake hate reviews, there's all kinds of nonsense. But it's the dedication for me, and
Mm-hmm.
that is shattered the minute there's glowing reviews about that same girl 3 days after she left. Like,
Yeah.
tell me the people are not this easily fooled, and unfortunately they are.
Yes, they
And we
are.
also don't clap back. Not only do we not retaliate, we don't clap back. We're not in the comments and the replies being like, that's not true, because that's
Right.
just unprofessional, right? We
Yeah.
just, they go low, we go very high. But let's just call a spade, and that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, if we're talking about mileage, we're assuming that gentlemen are looking for the highest mileage they can possibly attain, which is full service. And in saying that, I think a lot of guys come into Muse that look for full service, or they think that that is what they need or they want. And oftentimes they can be very fulfilled with the experience we give, which is a high end or high mileage body rub experience. And
Yeah.
this reminds me of when we first opened Muse. For those that don't know, 15 years ago, we took over an existing spa. It was a very kind of no name parlor at the time. And the traffic that they did have built in was full service. So we knew
Yeah.
that opening that their existing traffic would be looking for a particular service. And
Yeah.
how we trained the staff to deal with that and dealt with it ourselves, being kind of um, the face of the company at the time, being as a management in that position, is saying to the guys, you know what, I understand that's what you're looking for, but try it. Try this experience because I promise you, you will leave satisfied. And most of the guys that come in and try it are in that position when they leave thinking like, wow, that was amazing because there's so much more interaction. They are craving intimacy if they're looking for full service. And full service is not the only way to achieve intimacy. So I think it's giving it a try and seeing the girls' skill that they can really kind of be turned to the other side.
Let's snap, for full service is not the only way to get intimacy, because ain't that it? in a nutshell, right? It's the quality. It's,
Yeah.
listen, you can have a hamburger in a lot of places, you can have a steak in a lot of places, and there's good, better, and best, right?
Yeah.
And so it comes down to the details. And we put so much thought and effort in all those details and are picky about hiring and prefer new girls that we can train them the Muse way of doing things instead of undoing, some other place's mismatched way
Yeah.
of doing stuff. Um, and so on and so forth. It's every detail in the design of the venue. It's every method of marketing that we do. It's every message we deliver in our podcast, just talking about our life, because this is our life, right? And it's down to the way the ladies take that on and the care that they put in their sessions. Because listen, escorts are a guaranteed thing, right? There's not much surprise
Mhm.
there. A dominatrix dungeon, you kind of know what to expect there too.
Mhm.
It's very what's going to happen in the massage world, right? It's
Mhm.
very question mark with like a little asterisk that means something will happen,
Yeah.
right? It's not nothing, but like what is going to happen? Is she ever going to fuck me? Will she lick it? Will she this? Will she that? Do I get to lick her? Like what's going to happen? And that excitement is not just addictive, but it adds much more thrill to the experience. There is no
Mhm.
predictability in that sense. And yet you can have really unintimate, really disconnected, really poor quality full service, right? A girl
Mhm.
that's like checking the time or rolling her eyes every 2 seconds or being like, are you done yet? Did you finish yet? It's time to finish. Like, there's a lot of unsexy full service out there. And I mean, just browse the escort reviews to see who
Right.
qualifies. The ones that are top of their game are the ones that give a shit, are the ones that work on their craft, that invest in their skills, that learn new skills, that even if she's not the kinkiest, let's say, fetish girl, but someone asks for something new, she does the research to learn what it is.
Yeah.
She's on the phone with me for 2 hours learning about all the skills. We're meeting in the spa to figure out, Riley, teach me how to do this with my feet. Like those kinds of moments of training and learning happen. And
Mhm.
so we invest all of that in the ladies. The ladies then invest that in their work, in their business, because they're each like Julia Inc. And
Right.
they give such a shit about the client's like experience and his enjoyment that they want to provide the best so that they're busy, so that they're successful. So the client is like, shit, that was amazing. And then writes me an email afterwards to tell me how amazing it was. Like that is the goal. And that's
Mhm.
what they strive towards. And that's the Muse difference. Again, there are ladies everywhere. Some are really great at their job, right? All over this country, all over the city, all over the world. But again, there's something absolutely unique about muses. And I like the fact that it's not a sure thing. I'm assuming even the ones that get full service, it's fucking amazing because there's no way she's amazing for 29 minutes and then fails at the 30-minute mark. Like, there's
Right.
just no way. Bet it's like knock your socks off, even though they're already off. Like, it's great.